Welcome to Life on the Mendo Coast. My name is Amy Allen. Here on the Mendocino Coast live extraordinary people with unique talents and inspiring stories. Join us as we feature these individuals and learn of their journey to the coast, as well as their unique abilities. Hello and welcome back to Life on the Mendo Coast. I'm your host, Amy Allen, and today joining me is DJ Aline. Thank you so much for joining me today, Aline.
Hello, thank you to you for inviting me.
Well, we love to have you. So you are originally from Brazil. So what brought you to the Mendocino Coast and how long have you been here now?
Okay, so I was actually looking for a smaller place to live. I'm from a big city, 1.5 million people, and I wasn't really happy in the capital, and my sister was living here. So in 2008, I came for the first time to visit her, and I love the place. It looked a little bit too small for me, but I think it was the first impression that Fort Bragg and Mendocino gives to you the first time that you come. And then 2009, I decided coming and stay longer. And then I saw that was the place that I wanted to stay.
Wow. So what about your second time seeing it made you decide that this would be a good place for you to settle down?
I started working, and then I found a place to live, and then I bought a old car. So I start feeling more independent, and I start meeting people. I think is the main thing when you are here, is when you don't know a lot of people, you feel lonely. And because it's a small town and people get so much at their houses, you don't feel that things are happening. But at the time that you start meeting people and you are invited for their houses, you start being part of the community, and that's changed a lot, everything.
So what's your favorite thing about living on the coast?
The coast, I think for me, that's the main thing, to be close to the ocean, to be safe. That was the first thing when I decided that I didn't want to live in Porto Alegre, the capital of the southern state of Brazil, is because it's a lot of violence there, traffic, and I knew that I wanted to feel more comfortable and safer. And here I feel pretty safe. So that was the main thing for me. And of course, having my sister here, having already family here, made totally a different, was really welcoming to come.
Yeah, that does really help to have family and friends who can just welcome you right when you come.
Yeah.
So DJing, how did you start DJing and why?
So I always loved music. It's something that comes in my family. None of us are musicians, but we all love music. We are, like all my family, get really inspired by music. And I've been dancing ballet since I'm a little girl. So music was always part of our family thing. So I remember starting with the cassette players, making playlists for friends. And I DJ really in a regular sound system, with 2 stereos, and just doing CD players for a friend. This was in the 90s. And I always wanted to do radio. So I graduated actually in advertising, and I remember working, doing audio advertisings and visiting a radio station, and always fascinating me, the radio. But I never saw in Brazil like a community radio station. So I didn't like in Brazil that was really commercial. So the tone of the voices of the hosts of the shows, I didn't like it. I couldn't see myself doing it. The selection of the music wasn't my thing. But I knew that the radio show was something really inspiring for me. So when I came here, I met a friend, and he used to do a show at KNYO that was still have as a radio station in Fort Bragg, and was in a trailer. And he said, I do a reggae show. Do you want to come one day to see how it is? And I said, of course. So I couldn't believe it. So I went and I said, maybe I could do a show too. And they said, of course. So I started doing a show called Cafezinho that was once a week just with Brazilian music. And then came the invitation to join KZYX, that it's much bigger, that we can listen online, and it's for the whole county. And this starts in 2000, KZYX 2010, and I start doing the KNYO in 2009. And with the radio, I could see a possibility for me to start DJing as people start asking me to DJ in their private parties, private events. Because of the radio, they could see my taste of music, my selection. And then I saw a possibility to have another profession. So I bought all the sound system lights, and I started doing weddings as well. But I prefer doing, like, when people invite me to do an event, but because of the selection of music that I pick, like wedding, it's a little bit different. So I try to go more in those other types of events. But sometimes, I receive an invitation to do a wedding that I feel that inspires me too. Maybe because of the couple, maybe because they are inviting me because of the music that I play. So I accept the invitation.
So what is the music that you mostly prefer to play?
Everything that moves me to, not just to dance, because the radio, I play other type of music, but I really like to play artists that don't have the chance to be in the commercial stations. People that are making beautiful music with different styles and rhythms, mixing electronic with the folkloric. That's what really get my attention. But I listen to all types of music, so I cannot say that I just like samba or tango. No, like, if you listen to the show or if you go to an event that I'm DJing, you are going to listen music from all over the place, all styles of music. But really what makes me happy is to see people moving and being inspired, and all ages too. I love to see kids dancing with their grandparents, the parents, everybody dancing together. That's when I'm happy, like a family event. Yeah, and everybody having fun together.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any specific DJ that inspired you?
Every day or every week, I'm exposed to a new artist. So depends the week that you ask me that question, I will have a name for you. Like, it's amazing to see, like, when I think that I know a lot of music and suddenly I found out about a new artist. I can't believe that I didn't know before. And because of this new artist, I found out about other artists. So for me, it's always like a door that it's opening, and I feel so excited. And that's why I love doing the radio, because I feel not just the radio, but an event. I feel that I have that opportunity to show something new for people. And fascinates me, like, it really makes me happy.
And that's really cool for the artists who are not so well known too, to have somebody who's willing to play their music not based on the popular music at the time.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing, because we see on the commercial radio, the songs that are really popular is because a lot of people like that beat. So at the same time that I'm doing a community radio show, of course that I want a lot of people to listen but it's a style that maybe it's not a lot of people that like it, but it's still in that big group. I'm finding another big group that it's smaller, but that likes the same type of music that I've been listening and sharing.
So your radio show that you have currently, when is that playing and about what time do you usually go on air?
So KZYX and Z, it's a Mendocino County Public Broadcasting. So the show is Saturdays, and I co-host with a friend called Lorena. Lorena is from Oaxaca, Mexico. And the show is every Saturday, and I do every other Saturday. And it's from 3 to 5 o'clock. And you can listen not just on the radio, but online at kzyx.org. And there is a file, the program stays on file for 2 weeks. And it's called jukebox.kzyx.org. And you can find previous shows from 2 weeks.
That's great.
Yeah.
Really makes it so that you're not having to just listen to the current stuff, but you can even go back farther.
Yeah.
That's a really cool way of doing something, especially for a radio.
Exactly. And for me, it's good to have the jukebox too, because sometimes I like to listen, not the whole show, but some parts that I'm talking to. So always thinking about to improve, not just to criticize myself, but to see what I could do better or not.
Right.
So it's always good to re-listen to the show.
Yeah, that's great. So do you have a specific event that you prefer to do, or do you really just enjoy any events that come your way?
So I really like the afternoon events, being like a family event. I've been playing in pubs too, for example, Dick's in Mendocino. It's nice because it's small, but it's kind of difficult for me. I'm not a night person. So it's kind of difficult because of the time. The party, it's over at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I just see that as more difficult for me. It's fun, but it's more difficult. And so I prefer when it's another time of the day and when the kids are welcome too. And when every type of person is invited too. So that's my preference for those events. And of course, events that people invite me because of the music that I play. So this is, I have the freedom to play what I like. And of course, according to the public that are coming, because can varies too. Like if someone is inviting me for a Halloween party, I know that people will be really expecting something really just to play. It's kind of our carnival in Brazil. But if it's Sierra Nevada, for example, I feel that I'm super open to bring different styles of rhythms and just play with the weird that I love, weird music. I don't know if I can use that expression, but just things that intrigates people and people get curious. So there are different events and both I love doing it. So I love doing wineries because of the scenery is so beautiful too. And people dress up. So I think it's really cool, makes the event really special. I love doing private events too, because we are celebrating someone or something and people invite friends. And I can see that everybody wants to have a good time together. So yeah, those are my favorite. But always when I have the freedom to play and bring the Latin culture. That's the majority of the music that I play is from countries from Latin America and Spain.
So on top of being a DJ, you are also a classical ballet teacher.
Yes.
So do you find that there is a connection between being a DJ and being a classical ballet teacher?
I think, it's all about art. And at the end, it's all about the music and expression and to be inspired. Like inspiration for me is the word that really makes me doing those things. I feel that teach ballet, of course, there is a technique that I love, the technique of a classic ballet. But what I want to achieve in everyone that I'm teaching is hoping that that person can achieve a level that their body can start responding and start really feeling that the body is up that technique when your body start responding to something that you want your body to do. And so it's all about the movement, the inspiration. So it's when in ballet you can start putting your way and really start dancing and not just thinking about if you are correct in the position, if you are turn out or stretch or this or that, but when your body's after that. So that's what really it's my goal. And with the music too, like it's something that I want to try to bring. When I do the show, for example, I always say turn it up, because I feel when you put the music louder, it just makes your body to stop, to really stop and listen, and not just do other things. You can do other things, but to pay attention in the notes, in the lyrics, in the rhythm, and the inspiration that a music can bring. For me, it's fascinating. Yeah. So it's all about the art, what the art can inspire you. There is something else
Classical
about
ballet is definitely a very impressive art form.
Yes.
So how long have you been dancing classical ballet?
So as I remember by my notes, I think 3.5 years or 4 years old I start. I have a period like between 19 and 23 that I stopped doing ballet, and I knew that something was missing in my life. So when I returned, I could see myself again. So I'm so glad that I came back. And teaching, I've been teaching since 17 years old. So it's been a long time.
So did you teach back in Brazil?
I taught in the school where I graduated in Brazil. And then I decided moving to New Zealand to have an experience abroad. And as soon as I arrived in New Zealand, I looked for a studio to dance, and they asked me to teach. It was an opportunity. The teacher had to leave. So I started teaching there instead of taking classes. And then I came here, start taking classes, and then was another opportunity for me to start teaching. So since then I taught at Second Story Studio, and unfortunately was closed because of the pandemic. And then I start doing the classes independently at Casper Community Center. And I'm happy to see that more people are interested. So I'm opening another 2 classes in Fort Bragg in a studio that just opened there.
Really, really great. I know our community needs more of that kind of thing, especially classical ballet that's really taught, and not just, we're going to go and move to the music, you guys. And we have plenty of that kind of dance around the coast. So it's really great to actually have a ballet class where our kids and even the adults can go and actually learn classical ballet the correct way.
Yeah. It's interesting to mention that, because I remember teaching adults, beginner adults ballet class, and was hard because the women that were coming to the class, they thought that they were going to be dancing since the first class. So if I was doing something too slow, explaining everything from the top that has to be that way, they were bored because they thought they were going to be just dancing like long sequences or something like that. And when I started doing something more difficult, they were really seeing that it wasn't possible because they didn't know how to do each step correctly. So it was difficult for them to understand that. I remember saying, if you want to just dance, go to Zumba class. I don't have anything against Zumba. I think it's wonderful, but it's totally different, a ballet class to another type of dance class. Ballet, there is a discipline, and there is like a step by step. It's that you have to go through. You have to learn the positions. You have to learn how your body has to position in every way. So, yeah. So it has to be patient, but it's so worth it. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely a process more than just to jump in and do it.
Yes.
So, so you've been teaching independently now for how many years?
I start, let's see, in 2021, I think. Yeah, I can see with the COVID, because COVID started 2020, and I think that year we didn't do anything, and I think 2021, if I'm not wrong, we start using masks. And that was really hard, because when you are teaching, when I'm teaching, I am the type of the teacher that I do it with the student and not just saying, because I feel that visually it's really important, more for the kids. So it's not just saying to them, you have to run and leap. I have to run and leap and show them how is the leap, because visually it's really important. So with the mask, to talk, to jump, it was really hard. And even not to seeing their faces, and they couldn't see my faces as well. So it was like freedom. Was so happy the day that we all were able to take the masks off and be ourselves again and be healthy again, because I feel the masks were kind of in between. Wasn't really helping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad we are in normal life, and I can see everybody, their smiles, their faces, and we can breathe.
Now everybody can breathe as they dance, because I mean, ballet is an extremely active
I say, even if you are in first position, not doing anything else, just standing in first position, if you are conscious about the position and thinking about everything, it's already a workout.
Yeah.
So everybody that does ballet as you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's and tough. The masks definitely made it harder, because you're trying to do all of these different positions correctly and with energy, and to make it beautiful all at the same time, and yet, you know, you were restricted by your breathing.
Yes.
So that definitely, I think, made things more difficult at the start.
Yeah.
But now you've got multiple classes going on.
I know. I think I have around 60 students.
That's amazing.
So I'm really, really happy and really looking for September to see new students, and looking for our recital. That's the way to say, in June or end of May. I'm still thinking when exactly will be the perfect date for the performance, but I feel that it's really important for the students to be able to perform, bring their family, put the costumes, have the lights, makeup, and even not just for the kids. I have beautiful adult students as you, and I see how important it is for an adult too, that it's doing the classes, taking the classes, to have a goal and go over and over and rehearse and see the difference when you are doing the movement several times. And it's not just with ballet. I feel that everything that you really want to do better, you have to practice, you have to train. And sometimes I feel it's difficult. I won't say that it's just here, but with kids or teenagers, is to show them that to make the difference, to make something, you really have to work hard for something. It's not just coming once a week or once a month and think that we are going to be great dancing or playing an instrument. If you want to be good in something, running, cycling, whatever you want to do, you have to practice. Your body has to repeat that movement over and over, and then we will have that moment of glory that you feel that your body is responding to what you want.
So what are the ages that you are planning on teaching come September?
So starting at 3.5, like I say always on the flyers and advertising, 4 years old, but sometimes some kids are ready at 3.5 to adults, so no limit of age. I have students with 75 years old, and she's beautiful, and happy dancing, and
great. And how many different classes are you having come September?
So for Bragg, I will have on Mondays 2 classes for 6 to 8 years old, and then 9 till 15. And then in Casper Community Center, I will have Tuesdays and Wednesdays for little ones, 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, 9 till 15, and then the beginning adult class or intermediate adult ballet class.
That's great. It's really, really needed on the coast, and I'm so glad that we have somebody who's able to teach all of those classes.
I know. I'm just like, I have to start looking for a theater for our performance, because last year or this year in June, we have the performance at Madison Performance Theater. Was great, but it was small for us already. And we are in need of a bigger theater, but I'm afraid of Cotton Auditorium, that it's so big and huge. And of course, with the expenses that will be involved renting a bigger theater. So that's my only concern. I'm trying not to think about now. Maybe in a month I have to start to think about that. But it's something to be aware of.
Great. Is there anything that you want to say that we didn't talk about or missed?
It's so great to be here in Mendocino, and being a Brazilian, I feel that bringing my way of being a Brazilian and my culture is something that really makes me happy. When I feel that when people know me, there is a way of people know a little bit of my identity and the place that I'm coming from. And I feel great because sometimes people here never heard about Brazil or never heard about the music. And just to show that there are other ways of living, other ways of being, that we hug, we kiss, and of course, we learn with each other. So I'm learning a lot too with Americans and people from California, or even closer from Mendocino, that I feel we live in a bubble, that I love this bubble. But it's all about those diversity that it's so good to know about and just mix with everything.